This is one of the rarest species of animals I've ever seen at any zoo. We made it to the Bronx Zoo. I've never been here before. I'm so excited. I'm on a little solo mission, no videographer today. I'm just coming here by myself, kind of bop around and check out what we can find. We're in New York. It's sunny today. I'm actually here during the state of emergency that was issued a couple days ago, and there's like a whole flood warning. It was all kinds of craziness. But now everything's dry and I'm excited to go in. Let's check it out. The Bronx Zoo opened on November 8, 1889. The zoo has created a unique window into the natural world for city dwellers in the heart of the Bronx, and it serves as a springboard and hub for conservation efforts across the entire planet. The zoo is home to over 10,000 animals and more than 700 species. The park is so huge it's comprised of over 260 acres of hardwood forest in the Bronx, New York. Part of the mission of the Bronx Zoo is to connect visitors to wildlife and inspire them to join the conservation work. One of the coolest things I noticed about the Bronx Zoo is that they have a lot of conservation efforts happening all over the world. It's very important to them clearly that they want to protect the future of all these species. The first area that I entered was the African Plains exhibit. This area was cool because it had multi-species exhibits, meaning there's different animals from different backgrounds and species all placed in one naturalistic setting, almost like you would see out in Africa. This species is called a Nile. It's a spiral-horned antelope that can be found in southern Africa. They're a bit of a conservation success story here at the Bronx Zoo because since 1941, they've had more than 275 Nile calves born right there at the zoo. So it's safe to say the staff at the Bronx Zoo have figured out everything they need to provide Nile with the proper life and care to raise babies. It's also pretty cool because this species is sexually dimorphic, meaning the males look different than the females. The males have these charcoal coats, like a grayish color, and they have really big curved horns. The roar of a lion is typically associated with territorial behavior, but then you have other different forms of roars and sounds like barking and grunting. It can be more friendly and sometimes used to locate pride members who aren't necessarily within the range of sight. And my thought is that this guy was calling a potential member nearby to invite them over. Bronx zookeepers, if you see this, let me know if I'm wrong. Time for a little zookeeper confessional. I always think it's kind of funny when I'm like walking around the zoo and just like, overhearing what people are saying about the different animals that they're, watching and listening to, or like the lions making noise. And I just like think about, as a zookeeper, if we visit other zoos, we're just like, people don't really realize that we're like walking amongst them, like who would guess that there's this tall 6'4" black dude that has like hand-fed lions and tigers and things, right? People don't expect that, so it's kind of funny for me just to be like, yeah, this is what I do. This is one of the rarest species of animals I've ever seen at any zoo. Dholes, also known as the Asiatic Wild Dog, Red Dog, and Whistling Dog, is about the size of a German Shepherd, and as you can tell, it is a canine. If you've seen any of my other videos, it almost looks just like a maned wolf, kind of like a fox with long legs. This exhibit is newer, and it was repurposed from the old polar bear habitat. What this does is actually fostering an appreciation for conservation needs of the species, and the exhibit highlights some of the work that's being done by the Bronx Zoo for Dhole out in the field. They also are involved in the breeding program that's called the SSP, which is a species survival plan, which is a part of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, to basically contribute sustainability of the population. Dholes numbers in the wild are decreasing due to human activities, including land development, resulting in habitat loss, hunting, and diseases from domestic dogs. Their wild populations are severely fragmented and they are classified as endangered by the IUCN. And according to the IUCN, estimates indicate there are fewer than 2,500 adult dholes remaining in the wild. But with the help of Wildlife Conservation Society, they're working in India, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Malaysia, and Indonesia to protect dholes and their habitat. The Bronx Zoo has two different rhino species, and this one is the southern white rhino. One of the biggest things that rhinos are facing is illegal poaching because of their horns. It's actually made of the same thing as our fingernails, keratin. One of my favorite things to study up on is zoo history, seeing where zoos came from and how much they've evolved. Like this place here was the monkey house. It's definitely closed because it's no longer suitable to house and maintain areas for primates with today's standards. So I love that it shows the growth that the zoo is going through. All these buildings are like French Renaissance era style buildings, and the fact they're still standing today makes me pretty excited to see them, and I got to witness history. You guys, we made it to the Madagascar exhibit, and listen to me when I tell you this might have been one of my favorite exhibits in the entire zoo. But again, I didn't get to see the whole thing. And you might recognize these guys from Zabumafu, the cockerel sifaka. It is one of the coolest species of lemurs because they are just so adorable looking and they bounce around. There was even Nile crocodiles in this cool limestone cave exhibit that almost mimicked their natural habitat. The pool apparently has 17,000 gallons of water with these really cool glass panels, and you can see underneath where the crocodiles are below. So this next animal I basically know nothing about, so I'm gonna give you guys my live reaction to it here. I have never seen this. Look at that. A ring-tailed mongoose? Oh my god, look how buff he just looked. They must have put some bugs in the log. The Bronx Zoo is apparently only one of 2 zoos in the country that is home to the ring-tailed mongoose. Native to Madagascar, they're carnivores, they're cute, and agile. They have a male named Bluto and a female named Sweet Pea. They enjoy looking for tasty enrichment treats that are usually insects that are scattered in the exhibit logs. All right, so I'm just now leaving the Bronx Zoo. I kind of had a little bit of a mess up in my plans today. So I was only able to be here for maybe an hour and a half, and the zoo was huge, and I didn't realize how big it was. And I also got to meet some cool friends, which was really nice, some cool zookeeper friends. And shout out to those guys for kind of hanging out with me for a second. And I didn't take any like behind the scenes tours and anything like that today. I just was kind of roaming through. Also, there's a monorail system that runs through the zoo here. It's like through this free roam area type area of the zoo. And I didn't realize my ticket had that on it. So like, I thought it was the extra charge, so messed up. But so next time, basically, I'll have to come back here and spend more than just an hour and a half. So Bronx Zoo, see you soon.